Hello and welcome to another CAD clip on AutoCAD 2007 3D. This is kind of a lab exercise kind of CAD clip, and all we're going to do in here is build this shift middle mouse button here, build this gear just from the basic geometry up, nothing too fancy, and use different visual styles and stuff like that. So nothing new here. We've been able to draw this type of object in AutoCAD 3D for some time. It's just that it's gotten a little easier and we've got some new tools, and it's just kind of a fun one to do. So we'll do that. So I'm just going to, I have a finished model here, as you can see, and I'm just going to use my switch over to a 2D wireframe, and then I'm just going to recreate this over here on the side just to kind of show you some different things, and there's various ways we can do this, but I'm going to start by just drawing a line somewhere around here that might be the center line of my object. Okay, then I'm going to start by drawing a circle, and I'm a typer, so I'm just going to type. I'm going to check my O snaps here and make sure everything is on. And I'm going to draw a line from the intersection of here, a circle, and I'm going to just kind of approximate it up to about there somewhere. Oh, that didn't work. Let's try this from here. Circle from intersection of here up to about there, and then I'll zoom in here and I'll say, okay, I'm going to draw a line that goes from about, here, turn my ortho off, here, perpendicular to there. That needs to be a little bit bigger. Use my stretch, F8. Grip this, maybe move it over to there. Stretch this over here somewhere. Make sure my ortho's on everything. So that's kind of half of it. So I'm going to do a mirror that over to there. Not too bad. So now I know that I want to have 20 teeth around the outside of this gear. So 360 degrees divided by 20 items is 18 degrees. So I'm just going to do an array. Okay, and I'm going to do a polar array. I'm going to select objects here. I'm going to say number of objects 20, total number of items to fill. Okay, have a look at that. Different variations. Rotate as they're copied. I'm going to select the base point as being the INT of here. Okay, do a preview. Preview looks pretty good, and I can accept it. Okay, now I'm going to do a trim. All these objects, enter, and I'm going to go and do a little bit of legwork. Not a big deal. And work our way around, and then we'll take all of these objects and we'll join them into a polyline, and then we'll extrude them out. Okay, so we can have a look at that. Okay, maybe draw another circle in. I'm going to use PE for polyline edit. Pick on here. My P-edit accept isn't on, so I'm going to say yes to do that. Turn it into one. J for join. Grab all these objects, enter, enter. Now I've got one polyline around the outside. Now I'm going to draw another circle from the intersection of here and out to about somewhere, doesn't matter, about there. Okay, then I can say O for offset and offset T for through, and say offset this one through here, and then the hole in the middle is around that big. Okay, maybe I don't like the size of that. I can click that, bring it down, doesn't matter. Adjust this at will. Okay, plug in your numbers. You can always double click it, go to your properties, have a look at what's going on over here, right? Okay, let's have a look at this in our isometric view. Shift middle mouse button. Make sure everything's kind of sitting on the right level. Looks good. Back to my top view. Okay, now I'm going to go in and just draw my keyway. So I'm going to draw a line from here up to here, perpendicular, undo, perpendicular to there. Mirror that to there. Do a little trim. Got my keyway. And now I've decided that I want to make this a little bigger. Okay, now I can do this from my 3D view. Okay, circles can be extruded as is. Otherwise, you need to turn it into a polyline. So I'm going to use my PE for polyline edit, and I have a Lisp routine that does this all at once. Yes, join all of these items, enter. Now that's a polyline. So EXT for extrude, or let's turn my dashboard on here. Tools, palettes, dashboard. Dashboard over here. Now I might go in and say I want to hide some of these. Hide this one. Hide. Hide. Turn my auto hide off. You can also go in and see settings here, or you can right click, of course. And I'm going to hide that guy. So there's my 3D navigation. So I'm going to use my extrude tool over here. I could type it. I'm an old typer. Here, extrude, enter. And then make sure you drag in the right direction. A lot of times what happens now is people drag in the wrong direction and type in a number, and you don't realize because you're looking at the keyboard and your right hand or your mouse hand is moving. Okay, so this is a two-handed operation, what I'm doing here. Move with your mouse, drag in the direction, type in a number like 2. So that's 2 units up. Okay, go back to my extrude, extrude this, and I'm going to extrude that up by 3 units. Okay, I'm going to extrude this, enter, and you don't even have to pick a base point. I'm going to extrude that up by 2, extrude this, enter. You see, you don't have to pick a base point. You just drag in the direction, and I can give that I'm going to give that a height of 3. So I can go and look at my conceptual view, and that's really what I've got so far. So now what I need to do is take this part here and raise it up a little bit. There's a couple ways of doing this. So I'm going to go back to here because you see how this one is? Okay, I need to take this circle, this one right here, and lift it up so when I remove it, it leaves the web in the middle. And then I remove this from here and I merge that to that. Okay, so let's go to our wireframe and let's just have a look at the front view of this. Okay, and then I'm going to mirror it and it'll create the second half. So all I'm going to do is I can say M for move. Now watch what happens. If I click here and it goes in that direction, I'm fine. If I can't drag in that direction, type in UCS and then V for view, and it'll turn your UCS to be pointed at this view. Sometimes you won't have it in your X and Y here will be grayed out. Okay, or you can use the 3D move command, which is right here, 3D move, pick this, enter, and then you can say pick a point here and drag somewhere, and it's called 3D move, but it really kind of moves in 2D. So any way I want to do it, I can bring that up and say, okay, well that's where I want that to be. Go back to my view here, have a look at that, like that. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my subtract from here, enter, okay, I might have to use my object cycling here. Let's switch to wireframe and see. So let's go subtract from here, enter this, enter. Okay, so that removed that. Okay. Now I'm going to go back to here. It seems to be easier to select. Now I'm going to say subtract from the big one and this one, enter this, enter. Okay, that's going to create the whole. Okay, now if I want to keep this little guy here as an independent piece, let's see. I think that, in fact, yeah, that's all been joined into one now because I did that when I subtracted this from the other two. So now I have that. Okay. And now what I do is I'm going to go to wireframe and introduce a little slice command here. So then now that we've got that, we can go back to the front view and I can look at that. And just to demonstrate, we can go and use my slice command, which is under here. There's a fly out here. Slice. Okay. Slice this, enter. And now watch what I can do. I can just pick here. I'm not snapping to anything, click, enter, and then guess what? I've sliced that bottom piece off. Okay, now I can mirror this. Oh, that was a move. mirror this from here. Okay, then I can union them together. Okay, I can get rid of this line, and now I've got my object. And I can go back and do my different visual styles. Okay, and then I can add some materials, which is why this one looks so nice. So I can go to my tool palettes, hit my tool palettes button here. Okay, click on here, and I went down and I've selected the tool palette, all palettes, and I've got the metals. So I'm looking at metals right here. And then I can pick one of these. And create a copy. And then simply pick on that object and apply that metal. And there's other materials as well. We'll talk about materials a little bit later. Okay. Erase the original. And there's our gear, and then shift middle mouse button. We can have a look at that. We can spin that around as you please. And then there's some 3D orbit commands and stuff that you can get off of here. Okay. Constraint orbit command. And there's some other ones as well. If there's a flyout, we've got the continuous orbit. If you want to just try to spin that guy around, but I never seem to get the right axis when I go in and do that. So that pretty much ends our exercise on the gear, and hopefully you learned a little bit something inside of there. Thanks.